I'm pleased to say that has fully stuck. So I think we're ready to put the arches over and net it today. So we'll get that onto this end bed. So that'll be another bed almost done. Mum is currently in the greenhouse because it is lovely and warm. Although the sun is out today, it's blooming freezing. It's like 14.
Oh, I'm not coming out.
And like hasn't been, even when it's been overcast and rainy, it's been like 22. So it's a huge drop today. So we've got our jumpers on and our coats and all the rest of it. I feel like I should have my hat on, but I don't. Yeah, so that's stuck. That's my first job. That was my first job. We'll take the netting off. Oh, I'll get a bit close there, sorry. I'll take the netting off that bed and we'll stick the new one on. Oh, I need those hooks, don't I? Yes. What did I do with them? I had a whole sachet. There they are. It's going to be attached to the bed with these little chaps. I'm going to do all 4 sides, but eventually the side that it's going to hinge up on is going to have closed ones of these, so they won't be like sprung, they'll be completely closed. But I don't have any of them at the moment, so I'm going to do it all round with these first, and then we'll adapt that a bit later on. So right, before we get too cold, let's do that. In. Start at the end first, I think. That's in. Just, yeah, just sort of say. Now you've got to hold downwards.
I've got to hold it down. Are you sure my end's in properly?
Yeah. Next one. You go in. there's no resistance. So once they've gone in, it's in. There we go. Hold on, let me get in there.
What?
Let me get in there.
Oh, hang on, I haven't got it. Oh, that's it.
Are you in?
Yep, I'm in.
There we go.
Nice.
Yep. All hooped in.
Yep.
And now we put the netting back over. Well, this method is so much faster and easier than the way we made the first bed. So yeah, incremental improvements as we get towards a final plan. The last thing we really need to work out is how we're going to attach the netting to the frame itself, so that we don't have to do any of this sort of tucking and clicking situation. We're going to stitch it to the frame, but it's just a case of finding the best way of actually getting that to work. But yeah, we are definitely closing in on a grand plan. Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
I'll get those up.
Don't say that. Cool, okay. So all of these little things, these little hiccups, is why I'm just holding off until I do the how-to video. Because I need to have the how-to down pat before, because there's always things. It's like these little clips. These ones, they're the right size for the pipe, but they're too small. I mean, they're the correct size for the pipe, but they're not easy enough to clip in, clip out, like the first bed I did. And I bought these ones new. The ones I used on that first bed are all like the ones we've just had stored in the shed, you know. And these are brand new ones, and these are so much flimsier than the old ones. So I need to find some stronger ones of these, because when you push the pipe down, unless it's absolutely lined up, they just bend and crush, which is just no good whatsoever. Also, that little hole at the bottom there is far too small to have a substantial enough screw in it. So all of those things is what we've got to work out before we do this is how you do it. Right, so it is now actually getting quite late. There's a huge rain cloud coming over the top of us. Don't know if you caught the glimpse of the rain in the middle of that. I got a bit of a sprinkling while I was putting that bed together. But what we do need to do is pick some pak choi and some komatsuna from that very bed that got dug up the most this year. You know, the one at the end? Every time we came up over a period of weeks, it was dug up. Anyway, they survived and they're ready to be picked. So we're going to take some of them home with us today, and then we're off, because tomorrow we're going on a bit of a road trip adventure, Mum and I. So yeah, going to go and pick them and then see you tomorrow.
It's a grass being
If you can get that one on the end there. Got it? Oh. Think. Lovely. I think that's probably enough.
Is that enough?
I think so.
One right over there.
Yeah, I'll get these. And here. That's cool. I'm going to get this tomato.
Oh, lovely.
I think that's it. There's a couple of sun gold, but I don't think we need them just yet.
Okay.
Oh, smells wonderful.
We don't need a cucumber tonight?
No, we've got so many cucumbers. Yeah, we just made it on time, chaps. Look, the heavens have absolutely opened. It's still sunny, oddly enough, but yeah, it's absolutely torrential all of a sudden. Yes, tomorrow we are going on a little day trip. The excuse is that Niwaki have got their showroom open, so we're heading off to that, but I think we will probably pop along and see something else as well, because there's some lovely gardens down that way. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Typically, it's number 7 we're looking for, and we've got all the numbers except 7. That's 9. 8 was round that side. That's 15. It must be round there. Must be. Okay, we've no idea. We're just going to park and get out and have a look, because there is every number here apart from 7. Okay, because that's their ladders. I have no idea, but they're quite cool. These are our ones. They're probably wrong. But it's these that I just love that. I love the tiny ones. Look at that ball of string, it's just like the one we've got in the shed, the massive one. Shows we've got good taste if it's in the Niwaki headquarters. Yeah, this is the, I think Johanna got the little one. I think it was that one she got. She was extremely pleased with that, because that is our turnip. The one that the badgers have, or the foxes actually, was that one, wasn't it? So obviously I've been to the Niwaki shop, you know, the one in Chiltern Street, and that's where I picked up the hori hori and then Johanna's hori hori, so I've been there a couple of times. And they've got a lot of stuff here, but it's tiny. I was expecting their showroom to be rather a lot bigger than this, so I think we're going to head off and find another adventure. Garden parking. Oh, look at cows. Look at those. They're very handsome cows. Okay, so it seems we were out this way anyway. We have decided to pop into NEWT. Now, NEWT, I don't remember, I mean, not I don't remember. I don't know if you remember. It would have been last time we were at Chelsea. It was sponsored by NEWT, and I think it was last year as well. But they had that cider, CYDER. Anyway, this is their gardens. And apparently they've got an amazing vegetable garden, which is what we're here to see. That's just wheelchair, isn't it? All flowers in the car park, always a good sign. And we're off. We've been told to follow this path. Bit posh, isn't it? This is very smart. Well, I've definitely had worse walks from a car park before in my life. This is actually really beautiful. We've been through like 3 terrains and now we're in the woodlands. And look, I don't know if you can actually see under here. I don't want to step off the path. I feel like I'm not allowed to step off the path. But look, cyclamen! I'm using the zoom on the phone, so I hope it's not too shaky. Okay, we appear to have made it to the entrance. Oh, it's very fancy. Can we, it is editing Jessie here, but out of timeline, sorry, but I've ummed and ahed about whether to keep this bit at NEWT in, because when we got there, this was the general atmosphere. Yeah, the wind was terrible, and even though I had a microphone with me, it was just powerless against the blast of the wind. The garden is magnificent, but it's on a hill and the wind was just whipping straight up the hill. So I ummed and ahed about whether I was going to keep it, and I've sort of fannied around a bit with the audio, cut it down a lot. I hope the audio isn't too awful. But I thought it was worth keeping in because the garden was beautiful. Yeah, and I think we're just going to have to go back on a better day. We've got what we've got, and we'll go back and have a look at it in its peak. Oh wow. It's herbs and fruit though, Mum. Look at that. Oh look, we got chard growing down the other side in stripes. Is it chard or is it beetroot? Difficult to tell. Cucumbers. Oh look, Mum, this. Look at this kale.
That's pretty, isn't it?
Now, I'm sure we grew something very similar to that last year. There's Mum looking very envious of the Cavallonero. Not dug up by foxes. This is a nice one. This is that one with the white stem. I did have some seed for this. That one. You see how it's got like a white rib?
Yes.
You can see it really clearly on that one over there. And then this is the red Russian that we've got. Oh no, look, that's not right, because this is the red Russian and ours does not look like that. It does. And who is that one? I wonder if it's on the other end. Where's all the labels? It looks like something that would grow by the sea.
Well, that's not. I think that's the one for the.
That's, it says Marguerite.
That's
So,
isn't it?
no, that's a nasturtium. I think that might just be a leftover label. Oh God, there is a bee in there who's absolutely smothered. But they've got them on that side, so I wonder if those ones are labelled instead.
Sorry.
Some good looking chard and borlotti beans in there. Chicory. Just been planted out. Chickpeas. Melons. There is a oh, Alvaro. That was one we were going to grow. Look, there's a rogue aubergine just sat in the corner there, oddly. A fancy cloche. Must have in a garden like this. Talking of fancy cloches. Woo!
Well, these are their these are their chilies, are they?
No, this is aubergines and basil.
Oh, right.
Because that is the Thai basil here, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Is it? And these are the aubergines.
Oh God, that smells incredible. Show me that one again. Look at all those beauties. Oh wow.
These are, I was going to say much darker leaf, but you said ours got red spider mite.
Oh wow, look at these. These are utterly covered in chilies. I thought this was going to be lemon drop, but I don't think it is. That is incredible.
That's lemon drop.
I'm not sure. No, because look, it starts off really bright and the lemon drop starts off green and then hits yellow. This is the black jalapenos though that we're not growing this year. Well, we were growing it, but they were a failure. Pretty gorgeous cold frames though, aren't they? Oof.
I think it's lemon drop.
Well, that's basil. This is a whole cage of currants, so red currants and black currants as far as I can see. In an incredibly fancy fruit cage. Look at that beast. So obviously we've shown up here like not with the best weather for garden viewing. And especially like after a really pretty pants summer that we've just had, but they've left all the seed heads on and things and it just looks gorgeous. It still looks gorgeous even though a lot of things are either coming to an end or are over. Chicory and spring onions to go out. Tomatoes. Gooseberries along that edge. Really is a gorgeous garden. It'd be really interesting to see it at its peak actually. They got rhubarb over there and a bug hotel, which is nice. I mean the brassicas look fantastic still, but I haven't seen anything sort of courgette-y, although there's cucumbers here, which is nice. That's cool. That's a really similar kind of very posh version setup of what we tried to grow our pumpkins up, isn't it? Loads of herbs. I think in its peak this would be a stunning garden. So there we've got fennel fronds and this looks like agretti, Mum. That's celery in there.
Is it? Oh, right.
It is agretti, look. An actual label. Yeah, if you touch it, if you feel it and you feel how rubbery it is.
Oh, yes.
It's really like, almost like samphire.
Wishing over that one branch. One.
Gorgeous. It's not a cucumber melon though. Parsley, chard, fennel. That is some good looking parsley. And evidence that there is courgettes. Maybe they've just taken them out already. Oh no, they're here. They're here. Found the courgettes. No vegetable garden is complete without a courgette. Good old, oh look, there's a cabbage white on there. plenty black fly on the garlic chives. Mine seem to have escaped it so far this year. I don't know what's going on there. Normally they look exactly like this.
I love these big stone clocks.
They're great, aren't they? These are the Shiraz peas, aren't they? Oh, look how gorgeous the flower is for them, though. As well, this is what we've got growing outside the greenhouse. Except ours is a purple tinged one. Oh, Mum, look, it's the Japanese wineberry. You see that stem? Do you see how like hairy and red it is? That's... I'm so annoyed we don't have more time. It looks huge. Look at the cloud pruning on those shrubs over there. Oh, you probably can't see from here. I'll have to get closer. We never grew any Rebecca this year, did we? And look how wonderful and bright it looks. Figgies? Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love a good goodies shop, and one that sells food is even better. Look, ginger beer. This is the cider. Come back to that in a sec. Beautiful vegetables. Look at those cauliflowers. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Just makes me want to take them all home with me. Look at the side of those sweets. So this is the cider. This was exceptional. It was so good. I'm not going to take some home in the car because it'll be rolling around in the boot, but I might order some online. It was really, really good. So much things I just want to take home and eat with me here. Beans, yeah, same colours as ours. Green, purple and yellow. But we've got enough beans to sink a ship. Love all these little jars of things. Lemon marmalade, bread. Oh, might have to take some bread home with me. I love a bit of rosemary focaccia. Lovely. A tasting card. Cider making station. That's gorgeous. But you really can just imagine how gorgeous this would be on a sunny day.
It's starting to rain. I've just made that.
They have as well. We've come all this way. Niwaki have got their fingers firmly into the gift shop here. Look at this, it's all Niwaki. need to go to the showroom. We should have just come here in the first place. Well, pretty unexpected, but I think that was well worth a visit. That was amazing. What a garden. Imagine being able to do that with a garden. The monies, my goodness. Oh God, well, we just about made it because it's just started to chuck it down again.
I might take off my hat even.
We've come up here all rugged up. I'm not kidding, look. First outing of the day. First outing of the year, I should say. Well, not the year, because it would have been earlier in the year. You know what I mean. First time this season I've had to get the hat out. It's blooming freezing at the bottom of the hill, like where the house is. And Hallie is currently learning how to use the cat flap, so we've got the back door open all the time, so it's blooming freezing. So we've got coats, jumpers, hats, the whole lot. Come up here and it's absolutely sweltering. Absolutely boiling. I certainly don't need a hat, let alone a coat. Oh. How hot did you say it was in the greenhouse?
It was 35.3.
Woo! And how cold did it get?
5.7, did I say?
5.7, yeah, that is cold. Yes. Chilly, but look at all of these guys. They are basking in the heat. Oh, I can see an orange one, or a nearly orange one. Look at that. Can you see that one? Ooh, summit's happening. And we've got loads of these guys, like really lovely big peppers down here. They're going to enjoy a bit of heat. But it's proper hot in here, Mum. I've got to get out. Oh, that's better. My goodness. Why was it so cold down the bottom of the hill? It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, what are we doing today then? Right, I did the chickpeas. Haven't done the sowing yet. I've done that. And I haven't potted them up. And I've done the glue test. Okay, so a bit more sowing. The only thing on this list that I don't have is seed for coriander. I don't know why. We've been years with just the herb tray in the seed department in my office. That makes it sound more glamorous than it is, but the little drawers that's got the seeds, the one that's got the herbs in it has been absolutely stuffed with coriander seed. I don't know if you remember, actually I think they still have the magazine, but they don't do the free seed anymore, but I think it was Grow Your Own magazine. Oh, a couple of years ago, they were just giving away free Thompson Morgan seed, in every edition. And we just ended up with so much of like repeats, because obviously they're giving the same stuff away every week or every month or whenever it is that it come out. But yeah, we must have had about 13, 14 packets of coriander seed. And so I just assumed we had some, but it turns out we've actually used it all. So I've got to go and buy some coriander seed. But everything else on that list I've got, so I might just get on with a bit of sowing. I think I need to fill some cell trays. Although it's not worth doing the lettuce. See, to be fair, it's probably not worth doing any of them in cell trays. I might just do them in, you know, the little green pots. I think that's what I will do. These ones. And then I'll just, you know, split them up once they've come up. That's what I'll do. So how many of the things do I need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. I'm going to need more than 4 seed trays. All the things that I've got on the board there are rocket, lettuce, mustard, parsley, coriander. Obviously, coriander is out of the picture. However, I've just counted. I've got 2 rockets to sow, which is the wide leaf and the skinny leaf. I've got 2 mustards to sow, which is the dragon's tongue and the green wave. Lettuce, I've got about 3 or 4 I want to sow, and I've also just decided to add spinach, corn salad, and something else exciting. Yes, the agretti. I'm going to have another go with agretti, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute. So how many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Right, 4 more. Let's go. Now, what did I do with them? Oh, the pots are still over there. Right, first lot are going to be the 2 types of rocket. The flat leaf, which has got a much bigger seed. It's a much more cultivated one. And these are going to be going in the polytunnel or the polytunnel bed that we are going to set up with the new bed system. But they're going to go, it's going to be, rather than an actual tunnel, it will be a whole bed. I'll just chuck the rest of that in there. So first up is the wide leaf rocket. It's got like a really fat leaf. You know how rockets really normally quite spindly, like that. That one's just a really fat leaf one. So funnily enough, I prefer the really spindly one. Mum prefers the fat leaf. So we tend to do both each year. It's interesting to note that the seed for the cultivated one, the flat leaf one, is really so much bigger than for the wild one. You can see as I'm sowing it, like the difference. So these will be growing in the polytunnel over winter. They'll also, I mean, we've got so many of them dotted around. Like a lot of the rocket that we've been eating this year has been self-seeded, you know, sown itself from various bits and pieces. And especially seems we've been using this mix of our own compost and the silver grow. One of the things that we have a lot of seeds for in our own compost is either that pink tree spinach, which just gets everywhere, and rocket. So we're getting loads of rocket popping up in the seed beds, and it's quite handy because it's such a distinctive seedling. Like you can tell that it's a rocket really quite small. It means we can just keep like moving them out. So we've been plonking them across the place, but over winter we want to get some growing in the actual polytunnel, and one of the beds that we're going to cover, like turn it into a makeshift polytunnel, we'll have some growing under there as well. So that's those 2. I better label them while I know which one's which. Goody goody, that's the rockets in. Put them in there. So what is next? I'm going to do the 2 mustards. I'm not going to do masses of these because we've already got quite a lot of them growing in the bed. So I just want enough to be able to put a couple in the polytunnel and a couple under cover like I'm doing with the rocket. This is one that the stuff that we've already got in is big enough to be able to be picked over winter. And the stuff that we're getting in now will be the stuff that we're picking in early spring. Nice. Then we've got, who's next? Oh, I've chosen a really stable bench here. It's really annoying because we've got a perfectly good potting bench around there that I built for this purpose, but I built it before I was recording anything and it's right on the edge of the plot. So firstly, it's pretty good because it's in the shade, but I've mentioned before that it's right underneath where the parakeets like to go to the loo. So it's a bit, you know, you're taking your hair into your own hands when you go in there. But also the back of it, so in front of me, so like this side of the bench is looking out into somebody else's allotment that I can't film from. So when I'm there, all I can film is my back. All these things you've got to take into consideration. Mustard. Right, next one, corn salad. This will also be being grown under cover. It probably doesn't need to be, but we'll have space for it in the poly, so I'll get a bit of this in. And also lamb's lettuce is particularly nice when it's been grown in a very soft environment like under cover. It's like coriander. We always grow our coriander under Enviromesh, not because it needs protection from any bugs or, you know, anybody who's going to eat it for that reason, that the Enviromesh is going to keep off. But the Enviromesh is a bit of a wind barrier, and when the coriander is grown in like a really lovely soft environment like that, with not being beaten by the wind and the rain, you get this incredible, lush, beautiful coriander, which is like, you're like the stuff you buy in the shop, basically. So yeah, we always grow it under that. And the lamb's lettuce I find is exactly the same. I had quite a lot of success growing it outside previously, but it's quite dense and small, and you don't get the big sprouts that you can kind of nip off and it keeps growing. And also it seems to get very gritty outside that it doesn't get when I'm growing it indoors. So that is another one for the indoor scenario. How have I lost my pencil again? I've only just had it. There it is. Lamb's lettuce. What's next? I'm going to chuck some spinach in. This is not going to be grown under cover. This is going to go straight out into one of the beds. It will be able to cope with a good bit of cold weather. Back to an undercover sowing. This is going to be a lettuce. I think it was last week, or it might have been the week before, that I was talking about winter lettuces, and I do have a couple that I'm going to try and sow, but this is not a winter lettuce. It is a summer lettuce that's pretty tough. I said before, never found a winter lettuce yet that's got a good flavour, so I'm hoping to try and grow some hardier summer lettuces over winter. Even if we don't have them all winter, we should have them quite well into the autumn, and then anything that hasn't really kind of taken off before winter hits, I'm hoping it's going to kick off in the spring. That's the idea anyway. And the last tray is reserved for the agretti. So I've got my one agretti plant that's growing away quite happily in the greenhouse. I'll show you that one in a minute, but it's just a single plant. And I've done 3 sowings of agretti so far, and only one has actually germinated. But I'm going to have another go because I was really inspired by seeing that much of it growing en masse at NEWT. Just thought it looked so good, and it's so rubbery, and we haven't actually eaten my one yet because it's just one of it, and I feel mean taking the top off, and you do need quite a big bunch of the stuff. So I am going again. It says you can sow it all year round apart from the absolute dead of winter. So I'm having another go. Okay, just lay. I cannot have lost the pencil. Again, there it is. This here is my mono agretti. Look at that. I mean, I know it doesn't look like the stuff at NEWT, but just having one is still very exciting. And actually, I'm just going to try a bit. I know you do normally cook it, but let's just have a piece and see what we think. You see, that's really delicious. It's like proper salty. Tastes like samphire. It's gorgeous. And you're getting a big bunch of it, which obviously isn't happening here. But when those ones germinate, you know, trial number however many, get a big bunch of it like that and wilt it down with butter and chuck it on top of fish. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. One triumph. I'm very happy. But let's go for some more. Let's go for some more. Right, what's next on my agenda? Got quite a lot of stuff in here actually that does need to be planted out. Got these spring onions need to go out. I planted out most of them, but these ones just didn't fit in the bed, so I've got to find somewhere else to put them. Not that it's a problem, like you can plonk spring onions anywhere. Not a single one of the beef and onion trees germinated. I'm very sad to say, but I will try again in spring. There is rocket, like I was saying earlier, with all the just rocket that is in our compost anyway. That's what's happened there. So we've got rocket. There's beetroot that needs to go in, but that's going to go into the polytunnel or the poly bed. Then there's the minestra, olive leaf chimney wrapper, and some extra cavallonero, which I do have to do something with. Probably not sticking it into a bed yet because we're a bit short on space, but that's all go. Then we've got all the stuff out there that needs planting. And actually, Mum is currently sticking the last of the komatsuna in the bed up there. Things are really looking up in here. I'm feeling optimistic, I think is the correct word. Anyway, as you can see, sungolds are speeding up. We'd had quite a few of them, but really sporadic. And in the last couple of days, week, they've really started to turn. So that's really good. We've got another whole load of trusses of them above. But there are also a couple of others going. So you saw me picking the Black Moon earlier this week. There are more of them on the way, which is very exciting. There is also a couple of bliss, which are turning yellow, which is gorgeous. There are a couple of black strawberries, which are, oh God, the colour array on them is just joyous. A couple of prairie fires are looking like proper orange. But overall, although a lot of stuff is still green, it's just feels like it's slightly less green than it was in my peak despair like 2 weeks ago. So that's exciting. The other thing that I have done, so earlier in the year when it looked like how slow the tomatoes were going to be, kind of let them, normally I don't do this. Normally they say you can get maybe 5 trusses out of a tomato plant and then you should nip all the tomato flowers off after that because they won't ripen. Well, we normally just have enough heat and sun to ripen what the tomatoes produce. At the end of the year, you've always got, like some flowers that didn't do anything at the top, but it's never been a problem. Although this year, obviously, what with being 6 weeks behind at the beginning and this cold snap happening now, I have taken the tops off. The only two plants that I have not taken the tops off is the Sungold, one behind me, and the Garnet, which are both cherry tomatoes, and they're both prolific. And I don't know how this autumn is going to go. Obviously, we've had this cold snap, but there's nothing to say that we're not going to get good warm weather. I mean, it's looking like it's going to be 23, 24 again next week. And previous years, the cherry tomatoes, when everything else is finished and we've cleared them, the two cherry tomatoes that are Sungold and Garnet are still going. Everything else I've taken the flowers off. But yeah, there is some serious progress in here, and touching wood, it's looking good. Also, the basil's looking fantastic, which is really nice. Now we just need some tomatoes to go with the basil. Look at that one. So these are the Prairie Fire. I think they probably need a little bit more time, but they'll ripen at home. This one feels great. This is the same as the one that we picked the other day, so we should have a little bit of a collection tomorrow. We might be able to
I just picked this and there was something in it. And I thought, what's that? Looks like a lily. And there was a wasp.
Got some beans? Yeah. What's this one, Bob? There you go. Yeah. Where's your bowl, Bobs? Where's the bowl? There we go.
Cheers, chaps. I know it's not really rosé weather, but rosé's for any time of the year. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so when I was editing through all that footage of when we were at NEWT, a lot of the audio is completely unusable because it's just with the wind. But in it, Mum and I are doing a lot of discussing about the varieties, because oddly enough, they were growing some things there that were labelled either something that we know we grow but it was labelled differently, or things like that lemon drop chili. Now my lemon drop chili doesn't look like that at all. I'll show you. I forgot to film it actually when we were up there earlier, but I'll show you, because my lemon drop chili starts off green and pointing directly upwards, and then as it ripens the chili drops and then it goes yellow right at the very end, and that's what denotes it being ripe. Whereas those lemon drops, they started yellow, they started curled, it just wasn't the same variety. So that was interesting. And there was the same with some of the brassicas. Firstly, there was a couple of very exciting new brassicas in there that I'll talk about next week, because I want to try and get hold of some of the seed for them. There was those ones with the real, like, they looked a bit like coral. But they also had red Russian kale in there, but they had, get your words straight, Jessie. One of the plants they were growing looked very much like our red Russian kale, but another one that looked nothing like it was what they had labelled red Russian. So I have no idea, really. I have no idea. But still, it was a really beautiful garden, and I can't imagine what it must be like at its peak, like in the sunshine, with like everything, because they'd ripped out a lot of stuff. It's just gone over, so they'd cleared a lot of ground, and a lot of new stuff had gone in. You know, there was a lot of really baby plants in there. So yeah, it would kind of, it wasn't at its peak, but what a place. Those fruit trees in that like fruit garden, holy moly, they were just so beautiful. I mean, it was just a peak example of if you won the lottery, what you would do with the garden. Basically, unbelievable. Anyway, that's about all I've got time to say, to be honest. But this was a much for everybody else too. So cheers, chaps. Cheers to my Patreons, the Monday Clubbers, who get their videos on a Monday. They're the names you see at the end of this list. They're the people who keep this vlog going. And cheers to everybody else. I hope you've had a good week too. This week has been like a bit of a surprise joy. Bit of a surprise joy. And the weather's looking great next week. So yeah, long live the surprise joys for autumn. Cheers, chaps. See you next week.
Delicious flavour.